It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shooters, and myself. We're here doing some practice arrows at the moment, and I will be sharing this link to everybody. There are two concurrent viewers, which is amazing because I didn't advertise it to anywhere yet. And also, um, stuff. What is this? Restart to install Windows 10 update? No. I'll do that later. Um, do, do, do. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Uh, yes. I just really wanted to do something, but I forgot what. Well, I think I will figure it out as we go. But hi, everybody. Oh, I was trying to get my phone so I can share this to everybody. All right, where is it? YouTube. Next step. One. Everybody, hold on a second as we are preparing what to do with the stream. But here is the post. Paste that. Some shoots for Saturday. I think actually a great idea for this event is to be a little bit more public. You can see Scott's massive quiver and utilities down there as he stands in front of the camera, but it's all good. I think it'd be great to actually have some other people outside of Next Step watching this as well. We can probably do that by posting it on Reddit. Hey, your stitch dropped. He got beheaded. Okay, so I'll just talk amongst myself in the next little while here, trying to figure out what we're actually going to do here. And for those of newcomers, which would be maybe one or two viewers at the moment, um, we usually do this at the knock point on the Saturday night. One of the reasons why we do it is to make sure that we get some competitive edges taken off by having some good shooters out here to shoot and kind of get in the mentality of shooting better in matches. Um, Also, when you shoot, it's not necessarily going to be always quiet, and there will be noise, and that especially happens in bigger tournaments like Vegas or UStats. World Archery, not so much. um, and we're just kind of practicing to make sure we can deal with that, so that later on, when it actually matters, we're able to kind of deal with pressure or deal with crowd and all that. So that's why we're doing this on a Saturday night. I am just sitting here actually setting up some brackets so that we don't have to do that later on. Um, the current event right now, what's happening is it's actually practice time. So everybody gets 2 rounds of practice so that they can get warmed up. Usually, when you show up to a tournament, on outdoor tournaments, you get about 30 to 45-minute practice so that you warm up, exercise, set up your bow, and make sure everything's working. And then you get a 15-minute break and you get into your actual shoot. On some of the actual indoor tournaments, you don't really get that many practice. You get 2 official practice ends, and you go into scoring. And that score usually determines your rankings. And if it is a money shoot, that means there's money involved when you win. That means that ranking will actually be very important because you get seeded based on that. And then you go into your matches from there. Usually, bigger events, the actual elimination part is on day 2 or day 3. But for now, we are going to do it in all, try to fit it in all one day so that we don't have to show up here 2 nights because who wants to um, spend 2 nights in a row doing archery other than archers? Um, so that is what's going to happen. So everybody's just shot their practice ends, which means they're going to go right into qualifications or scoring arrows. That is going to be, I believe, 3 ends of 3 arrows. So a total of 90. And we're going to rank people based on their scores at the end and try to seed them. It's a bracket, it's an elimination bracket. So what's going to happen is the highest score ranking shooter will shoot against the worst ranked shooter, and then the worst or the one that who gets eliminated will go down into the losers bracket, where they will actually start shooting against other archers who are about at the same level. Most important tournaments are actually single eliminations. So once you get seeded against your best archer and you lose, um, that's it. You actually get to pack up and go home. And that's actually all of USATs, which actually costs about 800 to 1500 to show up just to shoot about 70 arrows. Um, but we give you a little bit better chance by letting you shoot a little more. And also we don't take your money, so that's good. We have tonight 7 shooters. We have Reza, Caden, Scott, Michael Hooper. We'll just call him Hooper. Um, and then we have Steve, uh, Lauren, and Sadie. I hope that is 7 people. All right, so that is good. Whoops, I messed up the names. I screwed up. I put 7 people as one player. That's not good. Alright, hopefully that's a little better. There we go. There we go. And I forgot someone apparently. Reza, Caden, Scott, Hooper, Steve, Lauren, and Sadie. Ah? I can't see it anyway. I can't use binoculars. I'm too shaky. Oh, here. What are you looking at? Alright, one of the other things that I'm noticing right now is people are using my commentator's desk as a as a binocular, and that is not good. Awesome. We have 7 people out here shooting tonight. That actually makes it very interesting because let's show all the archers. That makes it very interesting because that basically means the one person, because it'll be like a round of 8, but we're missing one. That means one person gets to actually move up to the next round because he gets a bye. And the other 6 people will have to shoot against each other and eliminate each other so that they go down to the loser's bracket. So that is going to be interesting. And We had to change some music because it was getting too jazzy, and we don't want that. Um, Here comes our scores getting reflected onto the scoreboards, and we have two people shooting a perfect 30, and then we have a 27, 29, 27, 28, 29. Everything looks pretty close so far. That means that it will be a very interesting uh, night. Now, let me explain a little bit of scoring in terms of handicaps and whatnot. So, everybody actually has a certain average they're shooting, and the best shooters out here get penalized the most just because we want to make sure they get a little bit of pressure when they shoot. So, for example, compounders, they will be shooting the inner 10. That means out of a 10 ring target, you actually have to shoot it dead center in the middle ring in order to get awarded a 10-point score. Some of us are actually shooting different scoring as well. So perhaps someone shooting Lancaster style, where the middle actually counts as an 11. Some of us are shooting barrel rules, which means everything in the yellow, maybe in the gold, is going to count as a 10. This is actually to make sure that this is kind of fair, even if newcomers come in and they shoot, because we don't want to exclude people that are coming in here and make sure they're just eliminated on the first two matches they shoot. So we try to make it fair for the fun nights. Hopefully, we'll be able to invite some of the higher level shooters, and we'll actually get rid of the high handicap as well on some nights. But for now, we are having fun. We'll try to accommodate for everybody that shows up, and we'll have fun shooting. So it'll be good practice. Even if you are completely new to archery, we'll try to make it work so that you can participate and actually give someone a run for their money. And with that, we are almost done with the second qualification round. Remember that every arrow can count up to actually 11 points, depending on what handicap you have. Um, and if you see any numbers that are more than 30 on the target there or on the scoreboard there, that means somebody needs to get their handicap adjusted. And with that, I believe the last set of arrows have been shot. And that means people will walk down there and get their arrows once again. Um, and it is a very casual setting so far. We wish to actually kind of change that for some nights because we want it to be a very competitive thing as well at some point. Just not right now. We want to make sure everybody's having fun. Emphasis on fun because we don't want people to come out here and feel like they've been cheated or anything like that. So let us know in comments or in chat if you do feel like you have a better suggestion in terms of how we run things. We'll definitely try to get that incorporated. Um, Hopefully, I'm not just the only one that's on the camera there, so I'll swap that. Also, for those of you who are interested in helping, we have way more things to do than it looks. So right now, I'm kind of sitting back here talking and sitting by the computer. But we actually need some people to go run and change cameras and make sure we're running the lights and getting the tournament rules. We have to judge the arrows if in case there needs to be an arrow call, things like that. So any help is always appreciated. So if you do want to help out, you can always come down and help out. And if you do, I'll let you shoot for free. No lane time for you. Um, on Saturdays. With that, we're going into our third round of qualification. That is the last round of scores, and then everything will be scored out of 90. Whoever has the highest will get a bye, and they get to watch people shoot off against each other, which is also kind of fun. Um, this is also a pretty good practice for a Vega shoot that's coming up in about 2 weeks. The Vega shoot for most indoor archers is the biggest event you can possibly participate. In terms of the actual sheer size of archery tournaments, I believe it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, event in the world. So it is quite a spectacle to go there and shoot. If you can handle all the casino smokes and fumes, it'll be a very interesting event. Usually, a lot of people like to go because flight to Vegas is actually dirt cheap around this time. And then indoor archery is really, really um, easy to get into because you're only shooting 20 yards, and in Vegas you have minimum 2, maximum 3 days of shooting of 30 arrows each. So you don't need a lot of endurance. You do need a lot of um, good mental game so that you stay on target, focused the entire time. Um, but it's not very physically demanding. It's a lot of fun, and everybody can participate, starting from people that are completely new. They'll get flighted, and what that means is they'll get divided into categories of people that shoot certain scores, and you'll get to shoot against people at your level, regardless of what score you shoot. If you shoot 30 arrows and you hit one arrow on the target, you will actually shoot against people that have that same ability. If you shoot a perfect score, you will shoot against people who will also shoot perfect score. So it's a lot of fun. And this is right now the reason why we're giving handicaps on targets is so that everybody gets in that same kind of mindset. Everybody's shooting about the same level so that everybody can give each other some pressure when they shoot. Of course, that's kind of synthesized or fake pressure, but still, it is what it is. You want to come out here and you want to win. Um, you don't necessarily have to win, but winning is fun. Um, at least for me. With that, this is what that practice is for. Everybody's trying to figure out their scores, and it looks like we got quite the scores up there. Reza has a perfect 90, so that will be very easy to bracket. Let's see, Reza's number one, and then we have Caden as second seed. Then we have Hooper as third seed, Hopper as ranked number three. And then what do we got? 85. Scott and Steve. Scott and Steve. Scott is number. Whoa. There we go. Scott is number four. Steve is number five. That doesn't matter. So we don't need a shoot off because Steve and Scott has to shoot against each other anyway. Um, and then Sadie is gonna be there. Where's number six? Lauren. Yes, top shooter does get a bye. All right. So everybody remember the scores because we are going to. Oh shoot. All right. Here are the brackets. Reza gets a bye, so he gets to take a break. Scott is going to shoot against Steve, and then Caden is going to shoot against Sadie. Hooper is going to shoot against Lauren, and those you are shooting against Scott. We'll also watch Hooper. We're gonna watch Hooper swap around names because that's also very entertaining. One thing I have to say that this operation has been become quite efficient. Outside of actually sending people around to zero out scores and change around the name, setting up brackets super fast, setting up the stream camera super fast. You set it up in 30 minutes and you start going. So I'm actually really liking the setup so far. Although the only downside is that the width of the camera, we can only accommodate 8 shooters, maybe 10 shooters tops. Um, so maybe that's something to work on for us as the event gets bigger. But so far, things are looking good. And I think with that, most of us are actually ready to shoot. So we are gonna go and get ready. People are gonna explain I don't know if the rules need to be explained for the archers, but for the viewers, um, a shoot off is basically sorry. Elimination matches are usually done in shots of 3 arrows per round, and whoever gets the highest score out of the entire set of rounds that you shoot will win. Um, that verbiage was not very good because it mixed a lot of terms that actually gets used in World Archery and normal terms. So I'm going to try to explain that again. Um, we are going to be shooting with compound rule, which basically means you get cumulative scores. That means if you shoot 15 arrows and you score um, all tens, you get a score of 150. That is a compound cumulative score matches. If you were to be shooting a recurve match in World Archery rules, you actually divide it into sets of ends. So you'll shoot 3 arrows, and your opponent will shoot 3 arrows. And if you win, you get 2 points. If you tie, you get 1 point. And if you lose, you get 0 points. And for recurves, the match is actually a race to 6 points. So if you win three rounds, three set of arrows immediately, then you get 2 points times three. So you get 6 points and you win immediately. That means in order to win, you have to shoot a minimum of 9 arrows. Compound's a little different. You have to shoot all of your arrows all the time. In World Archery, you get to shoot 3 arrows times 5 ends, so that's 15 arrows. But here, you actually only get to shoot 9 arrows, 3 arrow ends 3 times. That's just because we want to make sure everybody gets to shoot against somebody so that we don't just sit there shooting against two people and then we have to go home. Um, but we'll try to figure it out so that we can also play with different rules as well. With that, tonight we are going to be using cumulative scores, which means everybody's score will be out of 90 in a match. This is our first end, and all of the arrows have been shot now. So once people go up there, people are going to score their arrows, and they're going to have numbers. Everybody is shooting against each other on the same bale. So if you look at the targets down here, you got targets 2AB, 3AB, 4AB, 5AB. The only exception is Sadie, who is shooting 60 centimeter target. That is just a physical limitation. We can't put two targets up there. So she's going to have to shoot with whoever is next to her all the time. Um, Outside of that, everybody's shooting on their bail and scoring. So we'll see. Scores are being reflected now right on the scoreboards, and people are shooting 30s around. Actually, I believe Reza's just practicing because he has a bye. A bye means somehow, with some luck, you don't have to play your match, and you actually just automatically get to move on. That's actually more of an elimination terminology than archery. So a bye is a bye. Um, that we have, let's see, we have 30, 30, 28, 28, 23, 28, 18. I believe these are matched against. I believe there are about 2 point differences for most of those targets up there, or something like that. It's hard to tell. They're just numbers everywhere, and they're not consistent. Okay, I see. So the scoreboard's in the middle. They can't use the middle, so that's actually 28, 28. But but the first 28 is actually shooting against the 30 um, because Reza has a bye. Um, but anyways, I'll try to explain that better when we update the set of scores next time around. Also, if anybody has any questions about archery or how to start things like that, you're more than welcome to ask in the chat. We're always trying to include the viewers as well, just because archery is not just about us. It's also the people that try to do it, try to get into the sport and whatnot. For example, a lot of people will be like, "Can you Robin Hood an arrow?" The answer is yes, you can. It's also very expensive, so we try not to do it. Um, but yeah, things that are kind of like an archery myth or things like that, we can help you clarify that too, because that's what we do. All right, all of those arrows have been shot. That means they'll go down there and score their arrows, and we'll see what the scores are gonna be like. Everybody's walking down. For those of you who are curious, the distance of the target from the shooting line is 20 yards. So you can see Scott move down at the range like that, and he's gonna go and score his arrows. It is now 7 o'clock at Knock Point Range, located in Washington State. We're 2 rounds deep into our first set of matches. Scores are being reflected back, and we have good numbers being shown up there, I hope. All right, and everybody's coming back. So we have the first match, 58 versus 57. So Lauren is actually winning by 1 point. Scott to Steve Kaufman is 57 to 50. So Scott's up by 7 points, and then Caden versus Sadie is 57 to 45. And on that first round, this kind of scoring is expected because you have to be pitted against the best shooter against the worst shooter. So it might sound a little unfair at the moment, but you actually get a chance to shoot against everybody, and it actually eventually levels out. So let's go and watch how these guys shoot for the next round as well, and see how it goes. I think some of the things that I'd like to incorporate into this is like music requests because that's a thing we can do. I forget how to quite make it work though. I know how to do it with Twitch chat, but not quite with YouTube. So I'll try to figure that out as things progress. Yes, I would like to try recurve match play as well. It'll be a lot of fun. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. That's right. Yeah, I think it'll work out. Yeah, I think that'll be more interesting actually because you have the chance to really overtake the other guy. So, ooh. Oh, yep. It's actually precisely why they added the set plays because once you shoot like a six, you can't come back. Um, let's start the tournament. All right, so let's see. Scott and Steve. Uh, Steve is down by 5, so 85 to 80 for Scott. Caden, 85 to 64. And Hooper, 85, 86. 86, 85. Cool. So now that all of the scores have been reflected, we can go on to our next set of matches, which are going to be shown here. So Reza gets to shoot against Scott. And then Caden gets to shoot against Hooper. And then Sadie gets to shoot against Lauren, and Steve gets a bye. All right. Reza versus Scott, Caden versus Hooper, and Sadie versus Lauren. You have a bye. All right, I think everybody's done looking at the bracket, so I'm gonna swap it back to our cams, and everybody's shuffling to get their scores back up there and name tags changed so that they know who they're shooting against. And with that, we'll be able to go on to the next set of matches. I wonder what kind of things to talk about in the downtime. I think like fun archery story would be a good thing to talk about. Maybe equipment. People have equipment questions. We can definitely talk about it. Things like how does the new Hoyt Invicta feel? There you go. So you can kind of ask that kind of questions. There are things you can ask about shooting styles, releases, because everybody has their own styles. If you ever have any questions about archery, this is probably one of the better places to ask because it's interactive. You will get your answer immediately, and we'll be honest about it for the most part. Unless it's Hoyt products, then we'll lie and say it's the best. Um, but no. But for real, if you have any equipment questions, I myself, I'm not the best recurve archer, but I have tuned a lot of bows, recurve bows, and I know a thing or two about setting things up there. Um, Here we have a Ron back here. Oh, you're hidden by Scott. There he is. Hey, everybody. All right. So, yeah, we're actually you're actually hearing me as just a voice in the background, but I'm actually this guy that's got his hands raised in the back in the crowd. That's me. And then right over here is A.A. Ron. We're joining us here tonight at the Knock Point in order to um, host, I guess, commentate, run the thing, whatever it is we do to make sure that everything goes smoothly in this Saturday night shoots. It's a lot of work. Then again, sometimes it's not any work. So we're just kind of sitting here, making sure that things are running, and if anybody talks in a chat, we get to shout you out, and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, that's what we're here for. This is right now is the second match, first round of it. Actually, one of the things that I will comment about is every now and then on a shooting line, you will see people uh, swing their bow out like that, or to the side or to the right. Um, as for why people do that is because when you shoot, your arrow actually stays on your bow for quite a little bit, which means you can change the trajectory of the arrow if you react to the bad shot and do the opposite thing that was bad to equate it and make it good. Sometimes it doesn't work. For the most part, it actually doesn't really work all that well. But it it if you haven't actually shot yet, you're you will get reinforced to not do that anymore. You'll also be able to kind of save the arrow and whatnot. Um, some teams will, some countries, some national teams will swear that it works. Some people will be like, just don't do it. It's not worth it. But if you ever see people swing their bows like that, it's because they want to correct their shot. So if you're feeling like your shot's weak and it's going to drop, then you swing your bow up and hopefully it'll put that arrow right in the middle. If you feel like you're pushing your bow too hard and your arrow's gonna go to the left, then you actually swing your bow to the right side so that after the shot, your tail end of the arrow will go to the right side. So that's the logic behind it. Um, as for how well that works, I actually don't know because your arrow leaves your bow really fast. So what actually gets affected is probably like the low pressure area of the atmosphere. That's right. What really gets affected is the people around you, and you'll get some funny looks. And with that, we have some scores up there. We got 30 to 29, 29 to 27, and 27 to 28. As I said, on the second matches and on, the scores will equalize a little more so that there's less gap between the archers. Um, I mean, that's not always the case. There are some upsets every now and then, and sometimes someone just gets really lucky, or someone's just really good. I think we're gonna be inserting some archery story here. So Canadian team and U.S. national team, their selection criteria used to be very, very similar. In that U.S. archery team right now, you have to shoot minimum 4 USAT events, U.S. archery team selection events. So Arizona Cup is one, Gator Cup is two, SoCal is three, and then either Texas or Buckeye is four, and then there's the national event. So there's 5 events, and you have to shoot minimum four to be considered a serious archer and to get ranked. The problem with that in Canadian system was that Canada would always set these events in uh, places where there's just like absolutely nowhere living, no people living. So we'd actually get flown out to uh, like middle of the desert, um, where it's like really harsh to shoot. There's nothing to look at, um, and people would just have the time of their lives shooting in those places. Um, so then you'd spend 900 bucks, and one of like the best shooter in the country would have an off day and shoot like an average score for an intermediate archer. While someone who just begun shooting archery, he just feels amazing with the adrenaline pumping and whatnot, and he will shoot lights out. Comes top in the tournament and then win all the matches. And then he comes back to where he usually practices and he can't repeat the result. Because of that, Canadian system actually swapped it so that they take any of the 5 World Archery events, and it's actually really easy to make a tournament a World Archery event because I believe it is, you pay 75 bucks per event. You have to have three judges, and you have to make sure the field is large enough to accommodate everybody that shows up. Um, Other than that, there's not very much other rules other than your field has to be registered as like a World Archery field event. Um, but yeah, so now Canadians don't have to pay thousands of dollars to show up to expensive archery events to lose, and that is why we don't do that anymore. But then some people will argue that, well, where's the pressure when you kind of do that? We actually incorporate this thing called performance points, which if you are in high performance, such as USATs, where you pay a lot of money and you show up and there's thousands of people shooting, you get additional points on top of what your score is. So if you come in first in SoCal uh, and your average score is 650, then you get added 32 points for it being a very high caliber shoot coming in first. So what you actually end up getting is like 682, which makes you like an Olympic level shooter. And that kind of makes sense because the people that come in first or second is the Olympians. Usually it's Brady, Jack Williams, maybe Crispin when he shows up, um, some of the other U.S. national team members. So usually top 10 is filled with those good shooters, and it I think makes sense. The downside of that system is if you're one of those people that don't have the money to go to a high level tournaments, such as me, then you don't really get those additional points. So the people that actually show up and shoot and actually come in like top 32, which is actually you get eliminated on your first match, they just for no reason get 4 more points. And I suppose that's like an experience point rather than um, saying that they're better or worse than other archers. So that's like commitment points. With that, my archery rant is done. I am going to focus on broadcasting what's happening here. Um, and we're gonna look. This is actually the end of the second match. So all of the scores are being updated. Actually, this round we are gonna see some people actually get eliminated. So here we go. 60 to 59. So that's actually a very close shoot there. Caden has dropped a few points against Hooper. That might be a tough one for Caden. And then we have 56 to 50 on Lauren. Hopefully, Sadie gets lots of points there and kick Lauren down to loser's bracket. Oh, and he really does, or she really does. Let's see what our bear bow is representing here. Lauren might actually get eliminated immediately here. Sadie gets to shoot against Steve Kaufman. All right, so we have an 88 to 88 on target number two, and that means there's going to be a shoot off. Now, what a shoot off is because there's a tie, you have to somehow figure out who's going to go move up to the next round, and that arrow is basically a tie breaking arrow. You shoot one arrow at a designated target that is agreed upon by the judge and the athletes, um, but mainly the judge because you don't want to have the judge say shoot somewhere and then all the athletes shoot elsewhere, then everybody gets a zero. Um, and you basically figure out who's closest to the center, and whoever is closest to the center is going to be the winner of that match. And it's like a sudden death for archery. Whoever wins is going to move up. Whoever loses that one arrow is going to move down. Yep, one arrow shoot off. All right, with that, we have Reza and Scott shooting for that one arrow shoot off match here on target number two. Both of them shooting 88. Very good score. That means their average is actually in the 10. Um, them coming into the anchor, and they'll try to best execute their usual shot process. Scott shot a little low, and Reza shot a little high. So little bit of pressure putting on to each other, and we're gonna have to figure out whose arrow is closer to the center So I'd say it might be a tie there. Uh, Equal and opposite direction. Equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. All right, so it looks like Scott has won that. Not yet. All right. All right, so Reza and Scott has shot, and Scott wins with the set. We're gonna save that, and we have Caden for 1 sec. Not yet. My computer's lagging. I'm lagging. 88. Oh, 86, 83. And then 77, 80. We're good. 77, 82. All right, so all of the scores are being updated now or zeroed out now. This is what the bracket looks like as of this moment. So we have Lauren getting eliminated for tonight. We have Caden versus Steve, Reza versus Sadie, and then Scott versus Hooper.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Scott versus Hooper, Caden versus Steve, and Reza versus Sadie. All right. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Aaron, take. I'm out, right? Yeah, you're out. I'm sorry. Me sorry. All right, with that, we are ready to move on to the next set of matches. We are actually very close to the medal matches. So Hooper versus Scott is gonna be a semifinal because the winner of that match has guaranteed medal. He will shoot for either silver or gold. Um, so that match is very going to be very interesting to watch. And then we'll have to watch a few losers brackets for that to kind of happen. All right, looks like everybody's ready to go. So here are the remaining 6 archers. Kaden has to go, so Aaron's taking over. Aaron. Hopefully. All right, so we have actually a Aaron on the other side of the range, and he will substitute for Caden, who has to take off. Now the Saturday night archery has become Saturday tag team archery, which is actually also a pretty interesting event, I would say. We'll take those scores out there. There's some scores. All right, looks like Steve Kaufman's gonna be nice and score 2 arrows, so that nobody gets a zero this round. Battle of the Steve. Nice. All right, so we have the Battle of the Steves happening on target number 3B and 4A. So let's see how that looks like. Steve is actually Caden. It is a good, great practice. All right, amazing. We have 27 to 28, and we are getting Caden tag teamed with Aaron. So that's good. That's amazing. Amazing. All right, with that, we are down to our second set. Yes. You're shooting against Steve on target 3B. 3B, you're on 4A right now. All right. Aaron is throwing down some real good arrows down there. He has definitely sighted in. Ooh. Ooh. All right, good shots all around, I think. That is going to be the end of second end, and that means people are gonna go. Archers are gonna go and update their scores, which is good. And we'll see what happened there. I think something definitely interesting happened on Sadie's target, who is shooting bare bow on 60 centimeter target, and also Aaron versus Steve Kaufman. There is going to be a very good score on Aaron's target right now because he shot very well. Yeah, I'm dying here. It's too exciting. All right, scores have been updated. It looks like we have a 57 to 59 on Scott versus Hooper. And then we have a 55 to 50. Aaron is catching up against Steve. And Sadie to Reza is 58 to 57. So Sadie on a bare bow on a big target is putting up a good pressure to Reza. So she made him drop 2 points. So lots of pressure for everybody all around. The third end of round of well, round of the third matches of the night is going to happen. After this, we're gonna be able to figure out all of the losers bracket and figure out who is gonna go up into the bronze slash silver medal match. Yes, I agree. We'll explain the rules next time and do it. All right. Last three arrows have been shot. And that means we're going to go and figure out what the scores are. Okay, the scores are being updated right now, and something is happening down there. Yeah. All right, so here are the scores being reflected. We have 85 to 87 for Hooper, and then 84 to 77 for Aaron, and 86 to 86 on Sadie versus Reza. So there is going to be a one arrow shoot off on the target. Um, One of the disadvantages of shooting a bigger target is that your center is going to be farther out. If you so for a nine ring, it's going to be much farther out than a small target up there. But let's see what that match is going to be like. Maybe she'll plant it right in the middle. There we go. Oh, just a little bit out. All right. And with that, I believe Reza will move up. The official scoring, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Um, my hunch is that the closest to the center is Reza, unfortunately. All right, so it looks like what happened here is that Hooper actually came on top of Scott. So Hooper goes into the medal match where he will be determined for a silver or gold match or gold medal match, silver or gold medal. Um, then we're gonna have Caden versus Reza, where Caden actually suddenly turned into Aaron, and whoever wins that will shoot against Scott. So let's go ahead and figure it out. So we're gonna have this match, then that match, and then that's gonna be the end of the night. So with that, we're gonna go back and try to figure out who's gonna shoot against who. It is going to be Caden versus Reza. Sorry, Aaron versus Reza. Caden versus Reza. Scott's waiting and Hooper's waiting. So now it's just one-on-ones. Did you see that? What's that? I have to renew my passport first. I know. It expired like last year, and I haven't got to it yet. No, because mine was from 10 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they can Photoshop it. All right, so Aaron and Arcade and Reza. Oh, scuba. All right, now I'm showing up nice and big too. Huh? No, press the play button. Oh no. All right, so let us show you the scores down there. Reza has dead center 10, and Caden also has a pretty center 10 that is touching the X. The first shot's looking real good out there. Let's look at the second shots coming out. One let down from Aaron. Second shot from Reza looking like another dead center 10. Comes the second shot from Aaron. Oh, it is might be slightly out there. Good shot from Reza. All three in there. Third shot from Aaron, definitely touching and is in the 10. Let us go up there and score as soon as the practice is done. Uh, as soon as the all right, that's a fun moment to capture on the camera. Yes, ranger. We are enforcing the range rules here. There we go. We're gonna get some. I guess we're gonna get some butt cams here for a little bit. That's the downside of zooming this in here without the assistance for the archery scoring. So Reza's gonna get a 30. I believe he is shooting World Archery inner tens, and I believe Aaron's shooting Vegas. So he is gonna get 29, I believe, on that target. Unless the top target is also a 10. Looks like the board's broken. All right, 28 on that. Oh, maybe he is shooting inner tens as well. Good for him. With that, we are gonna go to our second. Yeah, all right. So Aaron is definitely shooting an inner 10 right now. So there we go. And with that, our second set of arrows are going to come out here. Well, there should be like 4 to 5 second delay. If not, refresh it and it'll be like 4 to 5 seconds. Yep. What am I listening to? Oh, there we go. Oh, consecutive shots. A little bit high on Aaron's arrow. That's definitely a 9 out there. Aaron's arrow, or sorry, Rez's arrow once again in the center. It looks pretty good down there. There we go. Let's go and look at our second set of arrows. Oh, it's probably the internet. It's cutting off. It's getting choppy. Looks good on my end though. All right. Good shot from Reza. Very nice. All right. And with that, that will be the second end of our 3 arrow or 3 round match. Huh? Sorry? That's Reza, that's Hooper, or that's Scott. Oh, yep. I mean, for some reason, Reza has a 60 or 50, but I believe that'll get fixed. What an amazing shooter. Huh? Yeah, best shooters. All right. Huh? That was that was the second round. What are you doing? I was like, why is he going up there? Yeah, everybody's a little tired here. I think Hooper thought we were done with that match, so we're gonna post our scores back up there. It was a 55 to 60, uh, and we're gonna shoot. Yeah, yeah, I know. I was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Next, this is the. I was like, I wonder why he's going up there. Can you clean up the scores and zeros it out? I thought you had some plan in mind. I didn't want to stop it. Yeah, I'm practicing my open-mindedness for work. Apparently, that's the criteria that I get graded on this year for work. So I'm practicing my open-mindedness here, everybody. Um, absolutely not. Um, yes, this is the last set of arrows for this match. Good arrows coming out so far. Aaron's arrow is definitely a 10. Not sure if that's going to be an X. Reza's arrow is an X. Next arrow is an X for Reza as well. Good shot by Aaron. That was good. That is definitely in there. And only one arrow to go for both of them. Um, there's this thing where every now and then when you shoot your matches, there are times when your arrow just like doesn't matter. But I think one of the best things to see in archery community is that even if you know that arrow doesn't matter, everybody gives it their best to shoot um, to their best abilities. So that's always good to watch. And with that, that is what the target looks like right now. And it definitely is a win for Reza here, but that was a good match regardless. So we're gonna seat him back up there. Alrighty. Yep. We'll definitely do the set points because it'll also make the things run longer. All right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause if you shoot a six, you're like. So next match is going to be Reza versus Scott. 9Y. All right. So I will call the archers back out here so that we can get on with the matches. 95. Thank you. Three AB. All right, take care. Did Katie get eliminated? Katie got eliminated. She needs to sit stronger. Huh? I don't know. No, she just came down for the weekend. All right, I'm gonna put this back. Time everything will be going.
All right. So we lost the Canadian, which means that we currently have Reza versus Scott, and we're gonna forgot how to do this. There we go. Strong shot by Scott, sitting pretty in the X ring. Reza with a letdown. Reza back up on his first arrow. Scott on his second. And that, folks, is why you let down. Scott with another strong shot. Looks like it's on the edge of the X ring. It's hard to tell from here. I think it's next. Oh, you got it. I know. Another great shot by Reza. And Scott finishing strong. We're throwing down, guys. Last shot for Reza. Fantastic shooting all around. I think we're pretty well tied. The mic just picked that up, dude. Scott getting distracted by working on Addie's bow. Don't mind him. He's getting his brain together here and heading down range. We'll see what they throw up on those scoreboards, but it looks like an even match so far, 30-30. So now it's a match to see who breaks first. Right underneath the vent? Yeah. Getting some complaints from our set of binoculars over here. Just complaining about the cold draft coming down from the AC, which I really don't know why is on right now. It's doing a good job of keeping the building nice and cool. Scott hitting the light for us. Correct. We saw Reza spin his arrow, but Scott did not. We'll see if that has any benefit here today. It's gonna be close. It's really hard to tell. There's a black hole over there in that corner. Looks like it. Looks like he got mad and responded accordingly. Scott holding forever. Classic move for the 19-year-old. 18-year-old? 18-year-old. Scott not leaving any openings here. No, it's inner tens, yeah. Scott with his last shot here. Still holding. There it goes. looks to be a little bit low. We'll see what they throw up on the scoreboards.
All right. With that, I believe that is the second set of. This is like the semi-final match because I think the loser of this gets bronze. They both have 59s up there. 58. All right. They both have 59s. Looks gonna be looking like a very close match. And with that, the last set of arrows coming out for the bronze medal match here. Whoever loses this will get bronze medal. Whoever wins this will move up to shoot against Michael Hooper and shoot for the gold. I had to mute my mic there for a little bit so that you don't contract coronavirus through our stream here. Coronavirus, my bad. Seems like there's quite a bit of sick people that are being found out across the globe, so hopefully we wish them the best. Hopefully they don't get quarantined as badly as it sounds. Um, but yeah, everybody stay safe, be healthy, stay home if you're sick. I know archery tournaments are very important, but not spreading diseases is also very important. All right, looks like a very close match here. All of them have shot X10s right now. Last arrow on this match. Or maybe second last if it is a shoot off. Ooh, a little bit left on Scott's shot. Reza has a nice and easy clinch here. Good shot coming from both of them. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Good shots from everybody. Unlucky. Every now and then you will get pressured like that to shoot. I think Reza just dropped something on the floor. Mm-hmm. Take him off. Yeah, we dropped that. Oh well, close match, but it sounds like we're gonna have another match between Reza and Michael Hooper. So this is actually a repeat of last week as well. Hooper has been shooting really well. Um, that means he's been defending champion for one whole week. Let's see if we can make that into a 2 week streak, or if Reza will pound him down and make him the second place this week. Okay, both of the archers are back. The lights are going to be put out for us to be able to shoot. And that is going to be the last set of matches for tonight. If Reza wins here, they have to actually shoot against each other one more time because he is coming up from the loser's bracket. Um, I, I think I'd like to see it. This match potentially out of 18 arrows. First shot from Reza looking real good. First shot from Hooper looking real good. I believe at some point a three spot had to be shot from left to right. But I believe that rule got removed as people just kept shooting different targets, I suppose. There really is no way to tell if you have about 300 archers shooting at the same time who shot which target first. So I'd say that's a good rule change because I like shooting a top target first myself. Um, I think some facilities actually only had top lighting instead of top and bottom. So the story is that it used to cast shadow down onto the other targets, and that's why people were enforced to shoot from bottom up. But we don't shoot in those times anymore. We have bright LED lights that uh, literally emulate the target. So no worries on that front anymore. Um, Looking at the target, Reza has two dead center X's and one maybe X 10 liner on the left. Looking like this. Good shot from first two shots from Hooper. I believe the last shot is a little low. And with that, we're gonna go and score. Wrong camera. We're gonna go and score. One of the things that I really like seeing is when a big tournament such as Vegas Shoot that is coming up right now happens. I don't know what Aaron's doing right now, but he's. um, we just saw a very huge arrow fly across the screen there, but once a big tournament like this is coming up, people really like to practice, and you can noticeably see people get better um, throughout the week, and that's always really fun to watch. I really like seeing all the effort and practice get rewarded um, as people improve on their shot process and mental games. So that's always refreshing to see. Good shot from Hooper, dead center. Good shot from Reza, also an X. Ooh, that did definitely caught the 10X maybe. It's hard to tell from this angle, but I think that's in. Good shot from Reza. That is a good shot from Hooper. It's an X. Ooh, last arrow might be tad bit high, but there's no more real X ring left on that target. That's kind of hard to see. But that looks like it's in there as well. So got 10, 10, 10 against maybe another 29. There we go. So we got 59 to 60, only 1 point difference. Lauren decided to come in and make sure everything is being done properly. Oh, okay. Let's see how this gets concluded this week. All right. Ooh, good shot from Hooper. That is a 10. Ooh, that might just be a bit high. We'll see how that goes. Um, it might be a liner. It's 10-9 liner. Second shot from Hooper also looks to be a liner, but once again, we'll try to figure that out once we go down there. I think that's more in than out. Reza's next shot was a 10. Ooh, that is definitely not a 10. That would have been a 10 on a Vegas target, but it looks like it might be quite a bit out on a FIDA target. And Reza definitely nails that one in the 10. And with that, good matches. All right, and I think, I believe technically they have to shoot again. But we'll see depending on how the archers feel like. If Hooper decides to not shoot the next one, then that'll be a forfeit and Reza wins anyway. So unless Reza feels like forcing Hooper to shoot one more round, this might be it. All right. All right. So you guys feel like shooting a second one, or? All right. All right. All right. So as a result, this week's winner for our archery Saturday night shoot off is Reza. I feel like we need to get him a belt buckle. we need those the gold star stickers. Put on your belt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Yep. All right. That is it for our Saturday night shoot off. Looks like Reza has won this week's matches. Um, are we gonna do it next week? I'm not sure. We are getting pretty close to Vegas, so we definitely are not gonna run this on during Vegas. Um, but we might run it next week. Um, we'll post it on the Knock Point website so that we know whether we're gonna run it or not. And with that, thanks everybody for tuning in. I wonder if I can zoom in on myself. One of the remotes is broken. Unthinkable. Maybe we use all the battery. But hi, this is Jin. Oh, I'm still here. Me here. Come back. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Jin is signing out from the Knock Point. Thanks for all the archers who have shown up. Thank you, substitute Cadence, for filling in. We're gonna be back next week, and with that, hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Everybody stay safe and healthy. Happy Chinese New Year, and I'm taking off. Bye bye.